Hello, Donna Lynn here. So let's talk about why your boundaries aren't being respected. As a woman, typically, men, this may apply to you as well, but I'm not sure that you guys have quite the same issues with boundaries in general as what we do as women. So you might be feeling like you're speaking up and somebody's just not hearing you over and over. Or maybe it's a parent who isn't used to hearing no from you, even if you're a grown child and your parents are, older now. Or I had another example, but I can't remember it right now, anyways. So oftentimes we feel as though we're not being heard and we feel as though we're not being respected. And so you say, this is okay for me, or this is where I'm at, and the other person is disregarding you. So it seems like a simple issue of disrespect in the moment. Well, it can, or it can seem like you're not being heard or what you have to say isn't valued or appreciated. And it might be that the other party that you're speaking to, or sharing your boundaries with, they may actually respect you. They might not, but they may, and they may be trying to hear you. And so what I want to get to is not just why what you have to say or your boundary is being disrespected or not honored by another person. It's actually what's going on inside of you. So sometimes we are expressing a new boundary. Sometimes our boundaries have changed. We've evolved and something is different for us now and we're trying to communicate that. Or maybe we're trying to shift who we are and coming to a new place within ourselves and we're trying to share that with other people and it's just not hitting home or just not landing. So I'm more speaking to if this is a common ongoing theme for you than if it's like a one-off scenario. If it's a one-off scenario where a boundary is shifted or you've just discovered it or you've communicated it for the first time and there's some pushback, that's a little bit of a different thing. But if ongoing boundary respect is a challenge for you to accomplish, that's what I'm speaking to today. So there is a root that goes much, much deeper than the other person just being an asshole, or the other person not wanting to hear you, or the other person perhaps not liking what you have to say. The root issue is often in some way, shape, or form that your boundaries within yourself aren't being respected. So you yourself are not respecting your own boundaries you have within yourself, or maybe you don't have boundaries within yourself. Maybe you're struggling to define within yourself what is okay for you and what you need, and being able to follow through with honoring and offering that for yourself. So if ongoing boundary issues exist for you, it's very probable. And so this is why I also hashtag this Truth Bomb Tuesday, because I'm coming at you with so much love and empathy, because trust me, I'm speaking to it because I've lived through this. I used to not have any boundaries within myself. I used to not hold myself accountable and tell myself that actually isn't good for you and you don't actually want that, so let's try something different. I never used to say that to myself. I used to just let myself float around doing whatever I felt like doing at the time, whether it was healthy for me or not. And I didn't hold myself to accountability to be treating myself with respect and love in a healthy way. So the reason I'm speaking to this is because the root is actually inner. And part of that, if you look at a lighter lens on that, is simply, something smaller where you see a reflection of, for example, how you treat other people is how you're often treated in return, right? So how you treat yourself, the world mirrors that to you. So if there's boundary issues outside of yourself, there's very likely boundary issues inside of yourself. Okay, so we've identified that. This, had a light bulb go off. Okay, oh man, I'm struggling with boundaries within myself. That's why I'm struggling with boundaries outside of myself. But what do I do now? What now? Where do I go? How do I even start holding myself accountable? really coming down to your foundational or core beliefs and looking at what it is you need to feel respected, whether it's by you or other people. It's often the same thing. Feeling heard for me is a big one. Having conversations where I actually feel heard, and then the follow through of hearing that. So, okay, here's my boundary, I express it, somebody hears what I have to say, and their actions honor and respect what I've shared with them. That for me makes me feel, as an example, is something that makes me feel honored and respected. I can offer myself that as well. When I say to myself, having a glass of wine instead of doing a workout or getting outside when you're feeling emotionally triggered, those are my options, my mental options. For a super simple example, where I used to lean towards alcohol for coping and supporting me, where that's not a healthy choice. I still have that natural inclination, like, oh man, I could really use a drink, take the edge off right now if I'm highly emotionally triggered. However, what actually supports me and makes me feel like I'm respecting and honoring myself and acting from a place of integrity within myself is caring for myself in that moment instead of leaning on a crutch that actually hurts me further. So just as a general example, those are a type of way where I could support myself and honor my internal boundaries. So my internal boundary is no more leaning on alcohol for coping mechanisms within emotionally triggered and stressful moments. So for me, what's the alternative? So I have to hold myself accountable to that. And when I do, I might be frustrated in the moment because that's just the simple solution. But in the morning, or later that day when I'm not foggy and frustrated and things haven't escalated to a new level within me, I'm actually feeling more loved and supported, and I'm feeling more and more rooted and grounded in my integrity than I was before, or I would be if I had taken that alternative option. So holding myself accountable to what I know works and doesn't, but I had to find out what those things were that do work. So getting down to your foundational core beliefs about what matters to you and why, and how they can be expressed within yourself and outside of yourself. So really, really honing in on what matters most to you and why, so that you can get clear with yourself first and learn to hold yourself accountable. Learn to stand in your integrity within yourself, and learning to respect your own boundaries and hold yourself to them out of love and respect for yourself. And then it goes outside of you. So in a nutshell, that may be why your boundaries aren't being respected outside of you. It all starts within. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. Truth Bomb Tuesday. I know that was very pointed and very assertive information. Truth is the truth, my love. And the thing is, in order to grow exponentially within yourself and become the person that you're striving to become, you really, really need to be honest with yourself. And the work actually really, really, really starts within you. So my truth bomb information comes from my heart and from my experience. Okay? So please know that when you are hearing very pointed things from me, it's out of love. I want to love and support you on your journey, and me sharing those very honest truths are the most transparent way I can offer that support to you. So, hey, Lindy, thanks for tuning in. It's so nice to see you here. Okay, y'all, that's all I have for you today. Have an absolutely beautiful day. I will chat with you again. Thinking about doing another Truth Bomb Tuesday next week. Let me know what you think of that. If you like the heavy hitting truth points, if they are supportive and helpful.